I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson of ABC News.
And I'm Yo-Yo Ma of the Wide World of Music.
As a physician, I know there are people all over the globe in desperate need of medical service, and that it takes special people to provide help in those communities.
As a musician, I've been personally inspired by the work of one doctor and musician, Albert Schweitzer. He believed in reverence for life, and he was able to put the humanity in the sacred.
Through the Schweitzer Fellowship Program, many idealistic young people are able to continue his work.
So now we ask you to listen to the words and music that tell their stories.
And we ask you to support this program that does so much for so many with so little. No one questioned his brilliance as a writer and philosopher, and as a world-renowned Bach scholar and organist. But then, Albert Schweitzer did the unthinkable. At age 30, he traded his illustrious academic career to become a doctor, and headed to the jungles of West Africa. When he arrived there in 1913, he turned a chicken coop into an infirmary, helping thousands of patients who daily found their way to Lambarene to receive care for everything from dysentery to strangulated hernias. Dr. Schweitzer believed in the humane treatment of every living being, and that reverence for life should be the guiding principle for a moral life.
I was excited when I heard about the chance to be a Schweitzer Fellow in Africa, and even more excited when I was picked to be a Schweitzer Fellow, and had this sense of going off to Africa where there are people from different cultures who don't have access to health care, and I could really make a difference for them. But in fact, in 4 years of Harvard Medical School, nobody had ever pointed out to me that all of that could be accomplished by walking up the street about 3 blocks into Roxbury up Mission Hill, where there are people from different cultures who didn't have access to health care that I could have helped.
I'm about halfway into the fellowship year, and I can honestly say that this has been an amazing experience. I am working with a community that has historically been overlooked, but more importantly, I'm working on a project that the community identified as a public health concern. So that's something that's important to me.
You know, I think that in some ways teaches valuable lessons about getting out in the community and working with populations and, you know, spreading your knowledge and allowing people to teach you what they know as well.
One of the reasons that drew me to the fellowship in particular was just because it's with other health professional students. I mean, that you just really never get anywhere in your curriculum. I mean, I think it's something that we really need to work on as just healthcare system, to work together, because that's what the future needs in order to, you know, be able to actually help patients in the future. So, and, you know, when I'm in pharmacy school all day long, I never get to actually talk to medical students, talk to dental students. We're all just in our own separate worlds. But in the real world, we will have to work together, but we've never really had the practice to do that.
A few years ago, 2 fellows recognized that there was a need for interpreting services for the growing Hispanic population in Pittsburgh. And I'm hoping to link their project with the project that I'm doing this year.
The fellowship opportunity has given me the chance, a very unique opportunity, to work and learn from current fellows and fellows for life. And these are people who share the same commitment for working with underserved communities. But I think it's more than just 200 hours of direct service. To me, I believe it's about the lasting impact that this work will have on the people that I'm working with, the communities that I'm working with, but also on my life and my career.
Look, in school, there's a lot, you get enough of people who are telling you what to do, memorize this or do that, and it's all very, very controlled. What's nice about Schweitzer is that there's structure, but it's not a path that's preordained. That journey is still sort of happens to each individual. Some people have a straighter path through their project than others. Others have more maybe obstacles or boulders or pebbles, but they have a lot more growth maybe than other people might, because they run into those obstacles and they learn how to fight through that adversity and how to deal with different people in different structures.
So one of the really early formative experiences I had on the Schweitzer Fellowship was the first time I went out with OSN, which stands for Operation Safety Net. My partner and I are doing a project involving respite care for the homeless. So this is the population we work with. My first trip out on OSN, I went to Southside, and it coincided with the night of the Zombie Walk, which I guess is to commemorate the Night of the Living Dead movie. I didn't even know this existed, so we were walking back up and down East Carson Street, and all these zombies were walking along with us. And in the meantime, we're looking for our clients. And you know, we're going up and down East Carson Street. We're making turns to go under bridges, and it just struck me how real the experience was. And I spent a lot of time in college. I think a lot of fellows have, like doing community service projects, but somehow it's more real this time. I think because we're all older, and so we have more of an ability to help out this time and make a real difference. And I just always remember the Schweitzer. That was the first time I realized that Schweitzer really allowed me to get my hands dirty while in medical school and feel like I was really making an impact and not just talking about it and thinking about it and theorizing about it. And I guess I'm really grateful for that experience.
You can actually get through medical school without coming up with your own idea and putting it into motion. So I'm really glad that I had this experience outside of medical school that I can bring back into school and put to use.
I can take what I've learned as part of my medical education, as the essential part of my medical education actually, and open up a free clinic of my own later on once I'm established. I think with the fellowship in place, it really takes me to the next level and gets me thinking about actually developing a project and meeting a particular specific community need, as opposed to focusing on personal, professional development later on down the line.
One of the most surprising things to me about the Schweitzer Fellowship is that it really is a fellowship in the purest sense of the word, in that all of the past fellows really take the motto Fellows for Life to heart. There's so many fellows involved in the monthly meetings and in all the events that we do, and I really feel like they're interested in helping current fellows bring their projects to fruition. And I'm really excited to be connected to this group of people who are so invested in the health of our community.
A support group helping me with resources and advice, and just really giving me the motivation to keep working through everything.
To get your project done and to get your ideas across makes you fight for something, and I think that's something that you do throughout your career, whether it's in your personal life or whether it's in your career or whether it's doing service. You really need to fight for things that you're passionate about, and I think this kind of program teaches people or allows people to find within themselves, with some kind of guidance, that within them, and I think that's really important, and that's money. That's great stuff.